everybody, this is Carolina Millan and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Hustle. And today I have my good friend and internet entrepreneur who just got up.
Hey, how's it going? John Crestani here.
Crestani, how are you, my friend?
Doing well. Excited to be on. Always happy to talk to you, Carolina.
I'm always happy to talk to you too. So to give you guys some context, John and I met about a year ago, probably. We started chatting online and then we met in person in New York City. We were both, actually John invited me to a workshop with Sam Ovens and Alex Becker, and man, that was amazing.
And that was
wow.
killer. Yeah.
That was like, I'm still so grateful you invited me to that because it was crazy valuable. And John has been doing the internet business lifestyle, living it for a few years now. We're going to talk about all of that and hopefully give you guys some tips, some strategies that you can implement if you also want to design your life, live from the internet, and really be your own boss. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for freedom, lifestyle, and all of that. So, John, first of all, how did you get started and what were you doing before your online business?
Sure. I'd say, how I got started was, I'd say it was twofold, right? The first thing was I was in college. I was going through college and I just realized there's a point like 2 years in, I was a business marketing major and I was 2 years in. I just had this feeling that I wasn't really, going anywhere. I wasn't learning anything that was actually valuable. And part of this was, there were a lot of things that kind of like coalesced to get this feeling. We were, learning about, branding and color theory and stuff with, marketing. And it just seemed so disconnected from what would actually, help me make money. We were looking at like Nike ads and I was like, how is this going to help me make money? They're like, oh, why did they choose, this athlete or I don't know. And it just seemed so like theoretical. And, and I started looking at the cars that the professors were driving. And they're driving like Hondas and Subarus. These are guys who had zero experience in marketing themselves. They just gone through a lot of school. And I just said, this is very disconnected. And the second thing was, I'd been gone through the, fraternity process, and I'd gone through recruitment at the first school I went to. I just, I was rejected from the fraternities I was trying to join. But I realized like getting a job and all this stuff, it was really just about kissing butt, fraternities and sororities were seen as a way to kind of kiss butt so that you get into society. And if you're in the society and you pay your dues and you do this stupid shit, like really weird stuff, you will eventually get a job working for and it just seemed so messed up. And I said, this is not adding value to the world. And this whole culture around getting a job and going to school, it's not a value-added thing. So I said, I'm going to learn I started looking into entrepreneurship and how I can work for myself and add value to people and have them pay me for it. That was the first thing. I read some books, I went to some events, and I did have to get a job out of, I did a number of things where I made money for a couple years, but it was, I was selling stuff on eBay, I was freelancing, I tried to start a software business. I did all these little things over the years. And I also had, I had a job at certain points, but I finally, I'd say what changed everything, which is something I think both hold in common, is that really put me over the edge and made me kind of demand the value that I wanted from life was I went to a Tony Robbins event. I went through the Dickens process, which is a process where you project, the premise of Tony Robbins and, well, this exercise at least, was you ask yourself a few questions. You ask yourself, what problem do I know I have in my life? What's an issue in my life that I know I need to fix, but I haven't fixed yet? Okay. And that's the first question. And then the second question is, what do you do? What does your life look like if you put off making this change in your life for a year, for 5 years, 10 years?
Scary.
25 years. And I did that. And I know one of the things I needed to change was, I knew what I needed to change. I knew what I needed to do to succeed. For me, it was quitting my job and also asking my clients to pay me more. or my potential clients, only going after clients that would pay me more. Once I committed to that, instead of just kind of dancing around that, I went from I was making $6,000 a month in my job to making overnight, within 2 months, I was making $30,000 a month as an entrepreneur. It only went up from there. The next year I did almost $500,000. The year after that, I did $1 million in revenue in my business. And every year since then, I've done 7 figures in revenue in my business, which is the last 5 years, with 0 employees, mind you.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the most impressive parts of it. I think you've mentioned somewhere too that you read the 4-Hour Workweek, and that also opened your eyes a little bit. We all know it's not real, really.
Yeah.
You got to work more than.
Once I decided to quit out of college, I kind of went on a little journey, my spirit quest, so to speak. And I read a bunch of books. I was trying to understand what I really wanted from life and what my direction was. And I read the 4-Hour Workweek actually stood out to me. I was in the Barnes and Noble on 3rd Street and Wilshire in Santa Monica. And I just kind of picked it out of the self-improvement section. And I took it along with me on a trip to Thailand. And it really resonated with me because the 4-Hour Workweek, you hear about this, that you can make money on the internet and having an internet business, and it doesn't really seem real. Everybody thinks, I'm going to become they look at brick and mortar businesses because you can see them and you can talk to people there, but most people don't think internet businesses or money is like real. They're like, oh, it's a dream. It's, it's luck, it's got lucky, right place, right time, all this stuff. In the 4-Hour Workweek, it just has so many stories of people who quit their, traditional life, their 9 to 5 or whatever they were doing, created an income for themselves, working free online. And I call it the difference. And that was what I wanted. I wanted what I call free money. I didn't want slave money. Slave money is where, you have to continually kiss butt, or you have to you're in a nepotist system. You have to continually please your boss and do all this stuff and pay off a mortgage because you're living in a big city. And, it sucks you in, right? Because if you want that high paying job, you move to New York City. And if you move to New York City, you have to pay a lot of money for either you're going to throw it down the toilet and rent, or you're going to buy a really really expensive, shoddy condo somewhere, and it's real estate is expensive in New York. You're going to lock yourself into debt for life. You're also going to lock yourself into debt for life if you get that education. Lots of people are. So you're just gonna weigh yourself down with, and you're gonna be trying to earn slave money. And it's really, and I didn't want that to be my reality. I wanted to be a free man, and that's 4-Hour Workweek showed me that you can be completely independent. And that's why I've committed to, that's why I don't have any employees, because I don't have any employees. I don't have any investors. I really just, I don't want to be beholden to either of those classes of people. I just want to make my money and be able to live my life. I, fly helicopters and ski and kite surf and do all the crazy stuff I like to do.
The lifestyle. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think you did differently that allowed you to over 90% of people who try to make money online, quote unquote, we know it has a bad rep. People think that making money online is not real, like you said, or that it's a scam, or that there's no legitimate way to do it. And both of us and plenty of people we know are proof that that's not how it is. But something makes a difference, right? Because you can give somebody the same strategy, the same campaign, the same traffic source, the same pre-sale page, landing page, whatever, and one person is going to get a result and another one is not. So for you, in your case, what made the difference that got you the results? Sure.
Well, the first thing I'd separate out is, first off, anybody can make money online. Really, there's basic tasks you can do. So like when people say make money online, you can go to Amazon Mechanical Turk and you can earn, $2 to $5 an hour. Just identifying, you're just identifying kitchen appliances, or you're drawing circles around, you're doing basic research, or you're naming how many ants are in the picture. Really, really basic stuff. You can earn very little. I think it's like $2 an hour on average if you just want to make money on the internet. That's called basic tasks. And that's the same thing as like anybody can go out and work an hourly wage. I think when most people complain about not making money online, they're complaining about actually trying to create what I call the freedom money, the big money, which is the same thing as doing like commission only sales, or network marketing, or any of this stuff, which is an in-person, which gives you access to make limitless money. But it's going to be harder to do. Not everybody, 99% of people who want to try to do sales in person aren't going to do very well. And it's the same thing for the internet.
Yeah.
I don't think the internet and like traditional stuff are very different, honestly. It's just, you have to separate things by basic tasks versus kind of sales and marketing activities. But if we're just talking about those kind of entrepreneurship, those opportunities to make millions of dollars, why do most people fail at those? I'd say the biggest issue is, I could cut really deep and say people don't believe in themselves. But what that looks like is lack of focus. So if I were, let's take this, for those of you just listening to the podcast, I'm pointing at my, I have this kind of wooden artwork of the world. It's kind of like these cutouts that are lit from behind. And I bought it from Etsy. Okay. I bought it from Etsy.com, which is like homemade craft goods, right? I bought it from an individual in Croatia for like $300, okay? Which is probably pretty good money in Croatia, $300. I think the average monthly salary out there is a couple $100. So, and wood doesn't cost a lot of money. So why this person, does well on Etsy, this person I bought this wood good from, I'd say it's focus. Most people fail because they are unfocused. They're on their Facebook. They're on Facebook, and then they find out about, they say, oh, I could make money on Etsy, and then they say, oh, I know how to make bracelets. I'll go on Etsy and post up some of my bracelets. So then they'll post up some bracelets, and they'll be like, they didn't sell. Like, I post them up for $20. These are the best bracelets. And then they'll say Etsy doesn't work. And then they'll look and they'll see, oh, there's 5 million other people selling bracelets on Etsy. And then they'll say, then people don't believe in themselves, so they come up with excuses of why not to do things. And it's true, there are 5 million.
They'll say it's saturated.
It's saturated. There are 5 million other people on Etsy selling bracelets. It's competitive. It's not selling. But the reality is there are people who want to buy bracelets. People don't look at the positives. And there are people who want to buy bracelets, and I make cool, unique bracelets. So people change focus. And then they'll say, oh, I'm going to go back on social media and like talk to people, or I'll click on other ads, or I'll try being an Uber driver, or I'll try selling on eBay, or I'll try selling my bracelets on Amazon. And people change their direction. Whereas the reality is there are many individuals selling bracelets on Etsy that are making money.
Yep.
There are many people on eBay selling bracelets that are making money. There are many people on Amazon selling bracelets, making money. There are many people on many other sites around the world selling bracelets, all different individuals making money. But you will never figure out how to tap into any particular market if you jump around from Etsy to eBay to Amazon to Uber to something else. Now, that lack of focus is the biggest problem. Even people, that it's just that lack of focus. Because when you're desperate for money, when you're anxious about where your next paycheck is coming from, when you are frustrated and alone and have nobody to talk to, you will listen. Anything sounds good. Anything sounds like a good way to make money. So it's very easy to jump around when you're anxious and frustrated and all alone and, and desperate for money. Generally speaking, your self-confidence is at an all-time low, and it's one of these like chicken and egg scenarios. When your confidence is low, it's going to be very easy for you to move your focus a million different directions and not believe in yourself. So it is a bit of a chicken and egg scenario. That's why I think it's very hard for most people.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I've been there. Sometimes I am there, where we lose focus. We get excited about one thing and then the other thing. So I also tell people, like, it really starts with focus and believing that it's possible. And that's what Tony Robbins says too. Like, if you don't believe it's possible, then there's no use in doing all the rest. So, yeah. So I know that you started mostly with affiliate marketing, and I do affiliate marketing myself as well, not as successfully as you. So people do ask all the time, like, okay, what's working now? Like, is affiliate marketing still like the right way to go? What do you believe is working today when it comes to affiliate?
So affiliate marketing as a business model, I believe, is actually the future of all commerce. Not just on the internet, but in general. There may be, in the future, there may be a decentralized internet. There may be a virtual reality internet. There may be, different iterations of the internet, but affiliate marketing, the premise of it is just commission-only sales, commission-based sales. And all products and goods will be sold in the future on a commission basis. And there will be multiple levels of commissions. I believe I read a lot of science fiction. So commission-based marketing and commission-based sales is not going away. In fact, people spend 4 times more time socializing online nowadays than they do spend socializing in person.
Yeah.
So, and it's increasing. So everything's moving to online. So if you want to do sales, if you want to do more, if you want to be selling product, if you want to be earning commissions, I mean, it's affiliate marketing, and it's only going to grow exponentially in the coming years as technology gets better, as the software systems that support the business model get better. Every major brand, Amazon is highly supported by affiliate marketing, Walmart, eBay, Uber, all these companies that people don't think of as like affiliate marketing companies are supported very large part by this business model, like having an army of marketers recommending their products. People don't really understand. People don't understand the tsunami that's about to come, and there's a lot of people that are very skeptical about this business model still.
Yeah. I mean, when people question affiliate marketing, I tell them, hey, look at Groupon and eBay and all of these guys, even Amazon. They are willing to reward you for referring people. Like, it's exactly the same.
Yeah. I mean, and some of the biggest companies in the world are basically affiliate marketers. I mean, hotels.com, they don't own any hotels. And they're one of the largest places people go to book hotels. They don't own any hotels. They don't have any they just connect customers with hotels and they make a cut of the profits. Uber, that now they're a huge company, but for years they didn't own any cars. They didn't own the taxi drivers. They just connected people who wanted to go somewhere with a driver who would take a driver with a car would take them somewhere, and they made a little piece of the pie in the middle. And same thing with Airbnb. Airbnb for years, they're a huge, like $100 billion company now, but for years they didn't own any locations. They just connected consumers you know, people would go on their site who wanted to find a place to stay, and they'd connect them with people who had places to stay, and make a small commission. And that's exactly what that's affiliate marketing. And I mean, it's Expedia.com, Orbitz.com, all these flight booking places. They don't own any planes. They're affiliates. You know, they're making commission for recommending you to book a flight, and they do it in an intelligent way. I mean, a little known fact is, like, when you're searching, what site do you use for flight booking?
I use a site called skyscanner.net.
Okay. Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So a little known fact about a lot of these sites is, you know how they have, I don't know if it has like a loading bar, it's like figuring out your flights.
Yep.
And like it's like populating. Well, I don't know if you've gone to Google, but you'll see, like, when you search in Google, the results appear almost immediately. And it even tells you, it's like results returned in like 0.1 hundredth of a second, right?
Fast. Yeah. So
if Google is looking through the entire internet's information, why do these flight sites, like, why does it take so long to find flights on these flight sites? Have you ever wondered that?
Not really. I never thought of it. But what's the answer?
The fact is, it's marketing. It's actually what sites like Expedia and Orbitz and Kayak, what all these sites found is that if they made it seem like the computer was thinking and it took time to load and populate the results, that people were actually more inclined to trust the validity of the results, and they were more inclined to book a flight through that site rather than another site that showed the exact same results but faster.
That's interesting.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
So it was split testing, it was marketing, but again, Expedia has to compete against Skyscanners, so they have to, like, figure out how to get people to trust them more than the other.
Wow.
And that's, I don't know, that's I don't know, that's just funny marketing.
No, that's crazy. No, I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, Google searches, it's like 0.1 second.
It makes sense.
These sites are like loading, matching you with your bet. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I remember the first time I heard about you, I read an article on Forbes, and I thought that was really cool, because that was, I don't know, I think it was way back in 2016 or 2015, I don't know. And I was like, who is this dude? And, like, I do the same thing, but I'm not making, the amount of money he's making. What is he doing differently? And I thought that was really cool. How do you give people, like, the trust, the credibility? Because that, of course, that gives you credibility. Yeah, I've been on Forbes, but other than that, when you work with people, when they get on board with your coaching programs and online courses, how do you manage that trust? Like, you don't you don't have something on your website that says thinking and processing, like the Skyscanner or.
So are you asking, how do you get people to trust you?
Exactly. That's like
teacher, as a teacher, as an affiliate marketer, like as an online educator?
Yeah, like both. Like, how do you get people to trust you?
As like an authority in your niche.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how to get people to trust you as an authority of your niche? I'd say that one of the biggest things is speaking to people, is talking, is when you're doing, let's say, a YouTube video or an Instagram post or a blog article, or I don't know, a Facebook post, whatever you're doing, whatever social media you use to reach people, which is, by the way you sell products, on the internet, you just reach people through those mediums. But I would say it's all about like speaking on YouTube or writing in the case of like a Facebook post, what people are thinking in their heads, but afraid to say. Okay. And that shows that you know them, that you get them, and that you understand what they're going through. An example of this would be like I come home to my wife, right? And I see that she is, I see that she looks weary. She is, she's been taking care of the baby all day. Let's say she just put our kid to bed, right? It's 8 o'clock. She just put our 2-year-old to bed. Our 2-year-old was throwing a tantrum for 40 minutes before she would fall asleep. And my wife finally came out. She kind of walks in my office and she's like, hey, I put Lily to sleep. I'm going to bed now. If I said, okay, cool, good job. Like, if I just said, okay, cool, thanks. Whereas that would be a little dismissive. Whereas if I said something like, hey, babe, you look tired. Is there anything I can do for you or prepare? Would you like me to prepare Lily's lunch for preschool tomorrow? So, you don't have to, and would you like me to, fold some of the laundry before, I know you just washed, would you like me to fold some of the laundry so it's ready for you tomorrow morning so you don't have to feel as stressed in the morning tomorrow? Right?
Right.
I'm thinking something that I'm speaking something that she wouldn't, because she sees me in my office and she thinks I'm working. So she's not going to say that, but that would create more trust in our relationship. If I said, hey, babe, you look a little overwhelmed and you look tired. Would you like me to do some stuff so you don't have as much work tomorrow morning? That creates more trust in our relationship. Now, in the case of marketing, let's say you're marketing a weight loss product. Let's say you're marketing a skincare product. Let's say you're marketing a business opportunity product. If you can speak to people where you're naming out things, where you say, hey, let's say I'm speaking to a 65-year-old woman and I say, hey, do you ever wake up in the morning and when you go to the bathroom, do you ever look in the mirror and see that the wrinkles on, and do the wrinkles on your face remind you, or do you get saddened or whatever when you look in the mirror and you see the wrinkles on your face and you're reminded of your age, and you're reminded of, I don't know, that the fact that your husband doesn't sleep with you as much anymore, or that in the next 45 minutes your husband is going to go to work with an assistant. He's going to go hang out with his assistant and his coworkers that are younger and better looking than you. And do you feel like your relationship isn't what it used to be when you had all these hopes and dreams or whatever? That's pretty hard hitting, right?
Yeah.
But if I was trying to sell a skincare product, that would be, I could say, hey, well, we have a very good product which can help you fix, help you reduce and nourish your skin in new ways. And let's say I had a skincare product that helped reduce wrinkles, that would be better. It would be better to talk to the customer on their level than to say, hey, want a youthful, every skincare product says, hey, get a youthful glow, erase the wrinkles, that all gets lost in the wash. Yeah. So you enter the people's conversation in their head and you create more trust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even if sometimes it means creating some pain.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
generally speaking, people buy products to get rid of some sort of pain. There's something missing in their life, right? So
Mm.
like, I mean, that's just that's yeah. I think that's standard. I'm not generally, I'm gonna. Most people eat because they're hungry, you know.
I get it. Yeah, totally. Um, what is right now in terms of traffic? I know you know a lot about traffic. You have to know about traffic in order to run an online business. What traffic source is working the best for you, and what kind of strategies are you following there?
Sure, 100%. I'd say YouTube ads.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube ads is fantastic. Um, or just YouTube in general, right? So, when I say ads, you can post videos for free on YouTube. So I mean, if you're starting an online business, I think every there's no reason not to have a YouTube channel and be posting at least every week and sharing value. I'd say the easiest way, just to kind of go into a go on a corollary here for anybody who's looking to get started in running an internet business, I 100% start a YouTube channel. It's free, and just share value, teach people about things, tell people about things. If you know what the best water is to drink, if you know about fixing, welding, if you know about social media, anything, just teach people things that are useful, teach people useful information on YouTube. And that's one of the things I do. I find YouTube is fantastic because it's very fast growing, it's very cheap, it's very unsaturated. In fact, YouTube is even giving away free advertising money because they have more ads than they can actually sell, which is crazy. So they're literally giving away free money to get people to start advertising on YouTube. Whereas Facebook has more people advertising on Facebook that they can deal with. So they just ban. It's crazy. They just ban people. They just
Yeah.
disapprove. Like when new people want to get started advertising on Facebook, they just ban them or disapprove their ads because Facebook has too many. They have too many ads. They have too many people wanting to advertise on Facebook. So, it's like, why give your money to, Facebook is a great place to advertise if you know how to do it, but it's very saturated. Whereas YouTube is literally giving away free money to get people on board. So that's where I'd recommend to go to.
YouTube ads, and it works well with affiliate marketing as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I know you have a course called the Super Affiliate System. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about what it is, what people can learn if they want to check it out and get started as affiliate marketers, learning from somebody as successful as you?
Sure. So after I got featured on Forbes, which was totally happenstance, it was kind of funny. I was traveling in Morocco actually. And this guy, I was going from, I was actually following the path of the alchemist. And I met a editor for Forbes who was also traveling, just, visiting. Like there's some really cool resorts in Morocco. It's north tip of Africa. It's along the Atlantic Ocean, kind of tropical, like desert, tropical-ish. And I came across an editor from Forbes, and he was asking me about what I did, and I was like, "Oh, I was trying to explain it at the time because I was like, "Oh, I do these little ads, and I make a lot of money. I do these little ads." And he's like, "Oh, how much? Does that pay you well?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like, I made 3 million last year." He's like, "What?" And he's like, "How many people you have working for you?" I'm like, 0. And he's like, no way. He's like, no way. I was like, yeah. And I was just backpacking, right? So I was on a bus, you know. I'd a bit, you know, I like when I travel, I'm very low key, right? I don't, you know, my beard's a little more unshaven. I have like a big backpack with all my, you know, it's like everything I'm going to have for months, you know, when I'm traveling. And he was like, no way, 3 million, you know, like that's ridiculous. And, you know, he, you know, I showed him, and he, I don't know, he wanted to do a story on me. But after that story came out, it went viral. Actually, it made the front page of Forbes. It went viral. And I had so many people messaging from me, for me after that story. It was like pretty crazy. So that was the original reason why I created a training program around what I do. Just to kind of be like, okay, I'll do like, you know, it's a really, you know, it's selling stuff on the internet. It's not like I'm going to like shoot myself in the foot if I show other people how to sell stuff on the internet. So I created a 6-week training course on it, just showing people how to advertise on, you know, like search engines, how to advertise on YouTube, how to advertise on, you know, like social networks, you know, which is what I do. I put up little ads and I make commissions. And yeah, that's how that whole thing came about. And I don't know, I think I'm in my 3rd, I've like upgraded it every year. Mm-hmm. So I'm in my 3rd iteration now. I've like I've upgraded it each year, and it's actually really exciting seeing. I was just looking through some of. I asked my students at the end of the 6 weeks to send in a video, telling me how their experience has been, or you know, like what they enjoyed, if they made money, if they haven't yet, you know, all that stuff. And it takes a long, you know, most people it'll take a long time to make money. I mean, for me, it took 4 years to make my first dollars online. You know, took me from 2008 to 2012 to actually make my first money online. But, you know, so like 6 weeks, it's great if they make money in 6 weeks, which some do. Quite a number do actually now, but, you know, it can take longer. So I just want to like keep those expectations out there, but it is really exciting for me seeing the testimonials.
What's one of the most like impressive testimonials you've received lately that surprised you?
Lately, I mean, oh man, you're like, okay, some of these results, like, okay, I'm gonna put in like
disclaimer?
The legal disclaimer here, which is like results not typical, like don't expect these results. But one of my students who signed up, he was one of my first. He was in the first iteration of my program, which was like dog poop compared to what I have now. Like the first iteration of my program was literally, I was charging a ton of money. I was charging $5,000 so people could have access to a Google Drive, to a folder, like a Dropbox of videos that I shot. Like that's how basic it was. And so he paid $5,000 for access to a folder, right? I just hadn't tried. And he was one of the top 10 affiliates on ClickBank last month. He did over, I think he did over, it was over like $600,000 or over $700,000 in a month on ClickBank. His name's Brian Pfeiffer. Really successful guy. But he has multiple businesses. That's the thing. Like he has affiliate marketing, but he also has like his own affiliate deals that he's created with companies. He has like multiple, he also is like selling on, he has multiple internet businesses now. He got started 3 years ago. So he made like hundreds of thousands of dollars. He made over $500,000 in a month from one of his businesses. I mean, it's insane. You know, honestly, like some of this, some of my students are making more money than me now, which is nuts.
Well, that's the
Um,
goal.
yeah, yeah. Brian has
Yeah.
employees. Like I've kept, it actually makes me feel kind of bad sometimes seeing those results, because I've always resisted having employees, right? Like I want that true freedom.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so
you just outsource a few things, but you don't have like like
yeah,
employees in an office.
I work with, at this point, I work with a lot of, like, I work with outsourced developers. I actually, I've been working on hiring more agencies. Actually have a dozen agencies I work with now.
Very cool.
Development, support. Um, I have some coaches I work with. I've ad agencies for everything from, my business is in a lot of sectors: YouTube ads, Facebook ads, Google Bing ads, mail, direct mail, organic YouTube, a bunch of my blog,
Hmm.
Instagram, Twitter. I have a lot of things going.
Awesome, awesome.
You know.
When people get enrolled in your program, do they get some access to you? They get interaction with you. What do
Oh
you think
wait, I just thought of
makes a
a
difference?
better example of a student,
Oh,
a
you do have a
testimonial.
better example. Okay.
Um, this 19-year-old kid, he commented on my channel. I checked him out. He did what I said. He started documenting his name's Drell Jones. And I posted his testimonial up on Facebook the other day, but, and on my YouTube. He did exactly what I said, is he started documenting his journey of doing affiliate marketing, on YouTube, just going from nothing. And he was just doing marketing, posting links and all that stuff, not on his YouTube channel. And within 90 days, he is now making an extra $1,000 a week. He's 19 years old.
Wow.
He's this African American kid, single parent household, right? He was raised by his mother, still living at his mom's house, right? No father figure in his life. Can't, didn't go to college, can't afford college, and he's making an extra $1,000 a week living in some small town. I forget where he is, in like Ohio or something, where there are barely, not that many job opportunities. $4,000 a month is like great money in Ohio. And he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
And he's getting, I mean, for a 19-year-old African American kid from a single household, I mean, I was like, holy, like his life will never be the same.
No.
He is, I mean, like, this kid's future is so bright. And he shot a video for me and sent it to me, and he said, "Hey, John, you've been my mentor. You've motivated me to do this, and also to document my effort." And I looked through his videos, and you can see each week, each day, he puts up a new video showing like what he did and what he did differently and what he's going to try to do. And even when he wasn't making any money, but he believed in it, so he kept posting for like 90 days. And now I mean, it's just like, I'm like, wow. And that was really exciting to see. And I don't know, that's like, his life has changed. Like,
Yeah.
I can't get over it. He's never going to do well in a traditional job ever again, because he's making good money. I mean, he's like, yeah, so that's cool. So your question was like, do people get access to me?
Yeah. Like, if somebody wants to learn this stuff, like, okay, a 19-year-old kid. I saw a 15-year-old kid testimonial somewhere too. Like,
No way.
if young people can do it with not that much starting capital, sorry, I'm getting some messages here. There's like no reason why you wouldn't be able to, like, anybody listening to this. There's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do it. But there are so many courses out there, right? So many courses out there. So what makes
You
your
need a
course
computer. You need you need a
different?
computer, like a laptop or a desktop. Some people think you can just do this from your phone. No, you need a computer.
Yeah.
That's one side thing. But yeah, going.
No, no. I mean, the question is, what makes your course different? Like, what added value do you have for people just starting out?
Sure. I'd say one. I'd say a few things is like I've I've done this. I've been very successful doing this. And I've not just marketed. I haven't just marketed products that. I haven't just marketed products in a single category. I've marketed products in a dozen different categories online. I've marketed bed bug eradication kits. I've marketed skincare products. I've marketed muscle supplements. I've marketed, erectile dysfunction pills. I've marketed weight loss products. I've marketed investment products.
Everything.
I've marketed so many different categories of products, and I've done it profitably and successfully to people that I don't even understand. I've marketed so many, and I've marketed on many different sources. I've marketed on Facebook. I've marketed on native ads. I've marketed on Google. I've marketed on organic, blog, articles. I've done so many different things, YouTube, etc. So I'd say one is, I personally have been successful in a large number of things. The second thing is, I would say I really I'd say that's the first thing. The second thing is, I would say I'm somebody, if somebody is looking for a teacher, I'm somebody you can look up and actually Google and see there is, I'm a real person. There's as you mentioned, press articles about me. I've been on the news, etc. And I think those things are important, and also I'm consistent. I update my course every year based on what's working best. So I think that's very important, is if you learn from somebody who is consistent, that's good, because they'll be around. If you learn from somebody who's done this not just once but multiple times, I think that's important. Obviously, you want to learn from somebody who's had success in anything you do. Don't learn from somebody who drives a Honda.
There's no shame in driving a Honda, but then
there's no shame in driving but the point is, like, yeah, if you want to learn how to become a millionaire, don't learn from somebody who
hasn't done it,
who's broke.
Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
Or learn from somebody who's where you want to be. And I don't know. I just I could go into a large number of reasons, but I'd say, when choosing a teacher to learn from, I think personality fit is a really big part of the situation. I believe education in general is shifting a lot, whereas instead of being forced to kind of like go into a school system, college and the education system trains people to get jobs. Whereas if you want to learn how to work for yourself, you're going to choose the teachers you learn from. You're going to be self-taught. And in choosing a teacher, I don't think there's anybody talking about how to choose a teacher, but I do believe you've got to respect the person, and personality fit is something to consider as well. There's a whole lot of factors, but and I believe affiliate marketing is much better suited for as a starting point for many people, whereas other things like selling physical products, like on Amazon or whatnot, you're going to still need to learn marketing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You're going to still need to know how to do marketing. So affiliate marketing really serves as a foundation for anything else you want to get into.
Yeah, Absolutely. That's why we love it.
Yeah.
So, John, thank you so much. I don't know if you have any final words of inspiration and to encourage our listeners who are struggling or still trying to figure things out when it comes to building a business online.
Sure. I mean, the advice I would give is first off, I'd say start. You are the 5 people you surround yourself with. And I'll say 2 things. So you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you want to be successful, if you don't want to be, don't want to be working a job, or let's say you do want to be but surround yourself with the type of people you want to become. Okay. And let's say you want to be a billionaire. You might not be able to meet billionaires, but you might be able to meet people who have aspirations for themselves. Start surrounding yourself with people who have aspirations and goals for themselves, or who have bigger goals for themselves, who maybe surround yourself with some people who, instead of going to party on Friday night, they are going to, they're, I don't know, work on their business, whatever that is. So that's and the second thing advice I would give is, if you don't set a goal for yourself, the world will set one for you. And what that means is, if you just believe that by being indecisive, and if you believe you're just not going to decide if you want a job or if you don't want a job, or if you want to go to college, or if you don't want to go to college, the world is going to move you around. The world is gonna fit you in its place. Your parents are gonna say, "Hey, go to school, or you're getting kicked out." Then you'll end up in college, and they'll say, "Pick a major," and then they'll say, "Meet with your career advisor," and all of a sudden, without you making any decision whatsoever, right? You're still deciding you are going to be set up to be with an unhappy college, an expensive college degree, an unhappy job, all this stuff. And it will be without you even making a decision. So keep that in mind. Make decisions, or else the world will decide for you. And it'll be sad.
Yeah, absolutely. You won't always like the choices that they make for you. So make your own choices. Makes sense.
Yeah.
John, thank you so much for your time today. To everybody watching or listening, I'm going to place some links in the description. If you guys want to check out John's Super Affiliate System program, we're going to put a training video there. Also John's YouTube channel, so you can check out his content, and John's Instagram, and so you can connect with him. Let him know you listen to this interview. Let him know if you have any questions or anything. This guy is super approachable, really cool, really down to earth, and we're here to help. So thank you, John, so much.
Thanks so much.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Have a good one. See ya.